Good afternoon, and welcome to Bear This and That. I'm your host, Cynthia DiLeonardo. We're going to explore the wants and true desires of successful relationships. I'm going to take you behind closed doors with one-on-one interviews with men and women from all walks of life on making our relationships magical and the best they've ever been. So, happy holidays. I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It was very quiet, which is also really nice. It gives you a chance to really reflect on all the thanks that we've been given. So that's what I did. And I did a lot of cooking. It was kind of eclectic, I didn't necessarily do the turkey on Thanksgiving. My son doesn't have turkey. So we didn't actually do turkey on Thanksgiving, but we had a lot of other goodies to feast on Thanksgiving. I want to talk to you today about what happens around the holiday time in our relationships. So I wanted to take a whole show and dedicate it to holiday time. Holiday time is such a wonderful time for us. We set that dial on happy and bring joy into our hearts. But then on the other side of that, what happens is we start to look at our task list and our to-do list and our guest list and our cooking list. And things all of a sudden start to get hectic. And then we walk into the mall. So with all of those things going on, they impact our holiday spirit, if you will. So yes, a lot of us are happy and joyous this time of year, but then all that stuff gets done. And all of a sudden you're rushing around and the holiday is over and we realize, wow, did we really get to enjoy that? So enjoy the holiday. Take a deep breath. Work as a family on what your intentions are. What is the to-do list? Can you break it up in the family? I like to have little family meetings, fun meetings, take it out of the house, actually. Take it out of the house, do something that you normally don't do, get off the routine, take the kids out for hot chocolate, and make it a fun event where we sit down and write out, who's going to do what, who wants what. The other part of the holidays that can get hairy is sometimes we don't know what's on the task list. What I mean is, AKA the buy list. What are we buying each other? Because it's a surprise, right? So we don't want to divulge everything that we're going to buy. But what happens is when not that we're supposed to do that, but the thing that we probably should divulge more as a couple to keep the happiness everlasting come the new year is the money's attached to the gift buying. The money is attached to everything that you're doing, the party list, everything down the line that pertains to the holiday. I would actually sit down and do a list and put dollars on that. If you're on a budget. If you're not a budget, you know what? Don't listen to this part of the conversation. Go take a commercial break. If you're on a budget as a couple, and if money really matters to you, do this and make it fun. There's nothing worse than come January 1st when the bills are due, right? Or there's no money left, right? It's not, all of a sudden, it's not so fun anymore. That it's not the way you want to start off the great happy new year. So in order for that not to happen, like anything else, doesn't it always come down to talking with couples? If we're not talking, we're not doing, and we're not achieving if we're not talking. So, we have to talk about everything. All of our desires that we wish to accomplish for the holidays usually has a dollar attached to it. So, just divulge that. Let everybody know what you're doing and budget, so things are happy and organized. And you know what? Guess what? You enjoy yourselves. All of a sudden, it's happy holidays. So talk. Don't let it be a secret. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about how you can have a beautiful holiday.
Now that you're here with me, I want to keep you free to do the things that you want to do. The joy in life is loving you. But now the day has come to let you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, the best of my years will go to you. It's the only thing I can do. But these things don't come overnight. Loving you, baby, and I think I'm right. Let me say before I forget, loving you, baby, is where it's at. Yeah, no, baby, look what you done for me. No, baby, set my heart free. Yeah. Oh, what a feeling. Yeah. Sometimes I want to leave, and then I say it wouldn't make sense no anyway. But forgive me, baby, if I do wrong. I haven't been a true man for so long. But let me say before I forget, loving you, baby, is where it's at. Yeah. What you done for me? Oh, baby, you set my heart free. Yeah. Red in the water, everything that you order. It's been very good for me, and I got to say it. Oh, baby, what you done for me? Yeah, you set my heart free. Yeah.
And we're back. Oh, who can argue with Al Green on the holidays, huh? Isn't it happy when you hear Al Green? Jeez, look at what you've done for me. The holiday time. I'm your host, Cynthia DeLeonardo. You're listening to Bear This and That Relationship Radio. And I'm talking to you today about keeping your holidays happy for this season so that for the new year, it starts out really glorious. Being happy for the holidays, part of that is communicating. I just touched on, the first thing a lot of us, thinks about is all the things we have to do come the holidays, all the gift buying and entertaining and all that stuff. So I just kind of, covered the monetary portion of that as just being open with your partner about finances for the holidays. But the best part about the holidays, which keeps it humming and keeps the harmony throughout your relationship, is to, if you don't do it all the time, now is the time to tell people what you do mean to them. Okay, that's Al Green coming at you loud and clear. Okay, look what you've done for me. Now is the time to let people know how grateful you are. It doesn't always come in the form of a gift, folks. That's why I'm bringing this up right now. Yes, you know what? If you have it like that and you can present, a tremendous, huge gift, wonderful, that's great. But never forget that the real gift is the gift of our heart. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. And you know what? That's where it ends. So we can never forget the true meaning of love and being thankful. And this is the beautiful part of the holiday. I was on the phone with someone the other day, and I said, it's absolutely wonderful, elevating to be in love in a relationship during the holidays. Is something it's just kind of magical for some reason. The holidays, it's very magical. Everything seems very fairy tale-ish like around the holidays. So if that's you, enjoy it and immerse yourself in this time. Really let go and let people know what you mean to them. While you're doing that, with all the things that we have to do in the holidays, I just touched on how hectic it can get. We get very busy, right? We're working, some of us, we have children, we're tending to their needs, and it's hectic, It's all how you say it. So as we're communicating and passing and going in a lot of different directions, trying to get things done, just remember, we could almost say anything to our partners. That's really the truth. It's really how we say it. How are you talking? Do you listen to yourself when you talk? That's so important. We get so busy and so wrapped up in our emotions. It's very easy to do. I'm guilty of it as well. Everybody is. When we get wrapped up in the moment and in our emotions, we forget that we're sitting across from another human being sometimes. And we are not paying attention because we're not hearing really ourselves. We're just trying to get our point out and be heard. But when you do that, you don't hear yourself anymore at what your tone is and really what are you saying. So I would say pay attention to that, your warmness. And this is not just for the holiday. This is for a harmonious relationship. And obviously there's slip-ups. Nothing's golden all the time, and we're not living in a fairy tale. But if you can strive for that, the rare occasions that your emotions do get out of hand, and you forget that you really sit in front of a human being, it's more forgivable, and people are more willing to give you a pass on it than if it becomes habitual, So, make sure that you're expressing yourself in your relationship to the pace at what you would be proud of. And listen to yourself and ask yourself, how would I respond if I just heard that, coming from somebody off of someone else's lips. And the holidays especially, because I think sometimes we really get under pressure. I love them all, and I love going into some of the shopping centers, and it's a beautiful thing. But we all know that when you're rushed, that it can get just a little, hairy at times. So in order for those moments, what I'm doing this talk so that perhaps those moments don't present themselves to you, so that you can go through the holiday with just a tad of annoyance factors going on. But enjoy yourself, listen to yourself, and, lovingly reach out for your partner. Does anyone hold hands anymore? People hold hands. I know. I'm asking that question. I already know the answer. You know that thing. Have you ever read about what women do? Most women, 80% of women, already know the answer by the time they ask. So, I already know that answer. every time I'm out, which is so wonderful, it makes me smile. I actually see people holding hands. I love it. There is no better connection than holding hands of the power of touch. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. For all of you folks out there who are hand holders, let me tell you something about what you do for us people who aren't holding hands as they're going about their day. It's beautiful to see. It makes me smile. It really does. I would think that it has the same effect, or probably just about on anybody, because it's such a loving gesture to see people come together and be in love. Because it's the first thing we do for puppy love. So it's puppy love grown up. And it's a beautiful thing when I see it. So it's thank you. Keep doing that. Because any little thing that's about to escalate, when you're touching like that and when you're holding hands, a lot of this little annoying stuff that I talk about right now is not even there. It becomes invisible. It's when we're not holding hands and we're walking side by side with both arms, glued to our sides, and when we're detached is when everything starts to float to the surface. Every little annoyance all of a sudden becomes at eye level. All of a sudden we see it. So touch, reach out, touch, tone, talk. Gosh, it all matters. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back in a moment for more Love Talk relationships during the holidays. All right, say it with love. You're listening to Bear This and That Relationship Radio. I'm your host, Cynthia DeLeonardo. We're talking today about love, the holidays, and how to have happy holidays so that when the new year gets here, it's grand, right? We just heard Al Denson say it with love. That's what it's about. How many of you out there have a wish list that your partner does not know about? And when I ask that, I mean that wish list could be anything. It can be a material thing. It could be something, in the bedroom. It could be that you need more time, talk time, that you need more friendship. A relationship wish list. How many of us have it? I would grant to say that most of us have something on our wish list that our partner doesn't know about. Okay? What I'm going to say to you is think about what's going on in your relationship. During this time, the holiday time, if you have time, I know we're very busy, but if you're commuting, like I do a lot of thinking on my commute. I'm not on the phone a lot on my commute because I actually use it to think about things that I'm planning. Using that time to think about my son and what I'm going to do with him. So I do a lot of reflective time when I'm on the road. This might, if you're very busy, if you have a 30-minute or more commute, this might be the time to reflect on, honestly, and really being honest with yourself about what is it on the wish list that your partner is not aware of, that you're wanting, that you have a desire for. You see, these things are very important to bring out front and center to the surface. Because when you don't, you see, there's a void there that you might say, oh, it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal because, believe it or not, unconsciously, it factors into the relationship and it impacts it. We don't realize it does. It is all the things that are left unsaid that are the biggest things that actually impact the relationship. Does that make sense? It's the things that we leave off the table. The things on the table that we can see. Okay? We can deal with that. We can relate to it. We know what to say to it. Okay? We pay attention to it. But things that we're not putting out in the open on the surface, on the table for our partner, they can't help us if they don't know. Okay? So if you have desires anywhere, find the time to reflect on what you really want and go out with your partner. Okay? Sit in front of your fireplace, whatever that time is or space is in your house where you two have time. And I mean the time just between the two of you, not when the kids are going to burst into the room, but a time when you know that time, and not TV time, okay? Television's off during this time. This is not on the commercial, this conversation. These conversations happen over your nice romantic music, over candlelit dinner, in your jacuzzi together, somewhere where there's romance and the both of you can let go and relax. And sometimes it's not always restaurants. You really have to find the right restaurant where you feel like you can let go. I mean, if you can do that, fabulous. There's a lot of fabulous restaurants where you can find a great table and get lost in each other is my point. So wherever you can get lost, go get lost. Go get lost with your desires. And where I'm going with this is start your new year off fresh. You see where I'm going with this? if you go into your new year with all this stuff still in there, you're not starting off fresh, are you? Start off fresh with everything on the table, with and don't be afraid to put your heart out. For those of you that are in relationships, we can't be afraid to put our heart out there. Part of the most beautiful, loving relationships, most successful relationships, and I mean in the category of friendship and love and desire, okay, those three categories, is because they're vulnerable to each other. They've gotten past the pride, they've gotten past, they've hung up the ego, and they've gotten past their pride. And you have to do that to be real. If you really want a real relationship, and if you really want to know and touch on what true love's about, you got to be vulnerable in order to get there. Okay? And being vulnerable means telling all. Okay? And I just touched on a moment ago that it's all the way we say it. So you know how to say it. So, but, you know, whatever you want, okay, that's missing. You know, when things go missing in relationships, have you ever been in a relationship, or perhaps you're in one now, and nothing's being discussed? You're going along, but you both know that there's something not right, or there's something missing. It's that feeling that no one's talking about, you see. And I'm telling you, it is the pink elephant in the room, because if you're in a relationship and you have this experience, you know about it. It's the pink elephant that nobody wants to talk about. But guess what? The pink elephant is large. All right? They're not moving, okay? That is very hard to budge. So it will sit there unless you move it. So that means being open about your desires and wishes and whatever it is that you want to do. It can be a vacation, for heaven's sake, that you got on the back burner, that you're kind of bothered, that you know, for some reason, you know, the two of you haven't made the time to do it. It could be something like that. That you push back and you say it's not important, but it is important. You see, we carry things around on our backs like a turtle shell that we say it doesn't matter. It goes into the not important backpack on our backs. And the truth of the matter is guess what happens to 10 not importants? Guess what you got? You got a turtle shell. It's huge. It's heavy. And it starts to weigh your relationship down. So every single little thing is important. It is. So don't let anything go. You know, the best talkers, the best communicators, the people who are able to be vulnerable, and it's practice makes perfect, you know. Of course, when I say perfect, I don't mean to be perfection. What I mean is, the more we talk to each other and communicate, the easier it becomes. The easier it becomes. Because here's the other thing I want to touch on. A lot of us are afraid to talk. Okay? Some of us think what we have to say is important, but we fear the conversation, the talk. The talk today in relationships, I want to talk to you, has such a negative feeling all around it that most couples avoid it completely. But the more we talk and the more we communicate, the easier it becomes, the better friendships you have. And all of a sudden, talking is on autopilot, and we talk about everything. Isn't that what friends do? That's why you become best friends, right? Best friends are best friends because what's the first thing a best friend says about each other? I could tell them anything. It's the first thing we say. We all say that. Your best friends because you know that you could tell them anything and everything without being judged, without being criticized, without someone blowing their top, okay, off the house, without someone losing their temper. See, because that's what friends do. But couples can become best friends, okay? Just talk and do it often. Hang up the ego, get past the pride, and just communicate. We're going to take a break, and we will be back in a moment.
I want a little sugar in my bowl. I want a little sweetness down in my soul. I could stand some loving, oh so bad. I feel so funny, I feel so sad. I want a little steam on my clothes. Maybe I can fix things up so they'll go. What's the matter, Daddy? Come on, save my soul. I need some sugar in my bowl. I ain't fooling. I want some sugar in my bowl. You've been acting different, I've been told. Soothe me, I want some sugar in my bowl. I want some steam on my clothes. Maybe I can fix things up so they'll go. What's the matter, Daddy? Come on, save my soul. I want some sugar in my bowl. I ain't fooling. I want some sugar in my bowl.
I think Nina Simone just summed up what I was just talking about, right? We all want and need. We all need and desire sugar in our bowl. You are listening to Bear This and That Relationship Radio. I'm your host, Cynthia DeLeonardo. I am chatting with you today about keeping your love in the holidays in your relationship so that your new year is absolutely grand. Okay, what comes next on the holiday list? All right, so we're busy. We're having a great old time because why? Holiday parties. Woo-hoo! We are celebrating. Yes, indeed. We are getting invited out to work functions, and perhaps you're planning a lot of your own. Want to tackle a little bit holiday parties and what happens? Maybe this is you. I've actually been here. Have you ever worked for an organization that is fairly large, and they do holiday parties that are, take up a particular evening? And it comes down from corporate that, to save a little, money at the end of the year, no spouses allowed. Has that ever been you? Has that ever caused a problem at home? Okay. How does that make your spouse feel? Okay. Going right down the line, do you do holiday parties, a lot of parties without your spouse? It really depends on the relationship. There's each shoe don't fit all. Each heart don't fit all in these relationships when it comes to these things. Some of us are great friends and have a great understanding and have great relationships, and sometimes these types of things cause a rift in our relationships. So what I want to say to you here on this, if you experience this, and if you're part of companies and you belong to organizations that you can't bring your spouse but want to, or if you want to do these parties but don't want to bring your spouse, that's an even bigger issue. You really need to talk with your spouse and just, make sure that they feel comfortable. The only reason why rifts spark when these things, when these invites start coming and the spouse is not invited, it's because there's something unsettling in your relationship. These things don't come just pop up out of nowhere. Okay, so for the fact that unless a spouse is unreasonable, okay, I know what that's like too. If you have a spouse that's unreasonable, you're exempt from this part of the conversation. I'm talking about if there's unsettling, or if you've recently been having issues in your relationship, and all of these invites, causes discomfort. The way to combat that is to make sure you make your partner comfortable. So what I'm going to ask you is, don't blame it on the organization that it's their fault. I'm sorry that they're leaving you out. Don't have that conversation. I don't think that's the right conversation to have, because that's not the issue. The issue is there's something in your relationship that's making your spouse feel unsettled, not the fact that your organization hasn't allowed spouses. I did work at an organization for many years that did not allow spouses. It's the way they wanted it, and it saved a lot of money, and they just felt like it was a time. We worked very hard through the year, and we felt like it was a time that all of the employees could have for each other, to engage with each other, because we were just, running in different directions throughout the year. It had nothing to do that we didn't want spouses there. It was more that we wanted the opportunity to engage with each other in a relaxed environment and hang out and get to know the person that you're working so hard alongside. So I would say, if these types of things are causing rifts or sparking, arguments at home, that there's something more than meets the eye in your relationship, and you really got to pay attention to that. I always say that there's a reason why people don't feel comfortable. Okay, maybe it's because we haven't done a good enough job to make them comfortable, and maybe it's something else. But you certainly have to sit and pay attention to it. Don't blame it on the company. Because you want to celebrate, and you really want to be happy. You really want to be happy. And make sure that when you're doing these things, make your partner feel comfortable. And make sure that you're celebrating with your partner. There's a lot of moms at home who all day long, and I've walked in these shoes too. You don't know nothing about a party, because all day long you're the chief bottle washer and cook and a diaper changer and everything else from sun up to sundown. So, if that's your house right now, make sure that you're going to celebrate and take your partner out and have some fun and get away from your normal routine and have that time together to reflect on why you're in union to begin with. Don't forget about that. Why are you there to begin with? What drew you to this person? All right, and celebrate that, not just because it's the holiday, but because celebrate it every day. I don't think love and relationships should ever be taken for granted. I do understand full well how we get busy and we have different jobs to do and tasks and all that. But at the end of every day, you got to let people know how special they are to you and celebrate that every single day. Okay? And with that, smile. And you know what? When you go into the malls and when you're tied up in a traffic jam, it won't get you in such a panic mode because you're happy. When we go to the panic mode when we're stuck in traffic, it's because we're already not happy. So it's just that one more thing, right? That breaks the camel's back. All right? When you go into the mall and it's all hairy, why do we get all agitated? It's because you walk in there agitated. So don't get mad at me. It's my own opinion. I link this stuff to myself. I get more agitated in traffic when I'm already agitated, or if I'm already running late. So I have a lot of these real conversations that have a lot to do with my own life. So I speak from experience. So I'm not throwing stones here. I promise you. We're going to take a break and we're going to wrap up the show. Okay, back in a moment.
To last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A dedication to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time, yeah, yeah. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. Come on now. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time It's alright, baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright.
All right, party time, party time. That will get the party started. Thank you, Kool and the Gang. You're listening to Ver This and That Relationship Radio. I'm your host, Cynthia DeLeonardo. I'm talking to you today about keeping your happiness in the holidays so that you can start your new year off grand. Okay. One little thing that I just want to add about when the organizations say that there's a no spouse thing. Really, I'm really serious about. Don't blame it on the organization when you're talking to your spouse when they're mad that they haven't been invited. Because remember the company picnics that happen in the summertime. Okay, you don't want your spouse to be all mad with everybody in the organization. All right, so I say this for a number of reasons. Okay, you don't want the spouse to think that your employer is the bad guy. Okay, or instituting something negative in your spouse's mind. Okay, with their relationship, really deal with it head on, honestly, and that's again self-reflection. Deal with your relationship honestly about what is truly going on. It's not always a secret, people. I just think that we just make the choice not to discuss it because we don't want to. We think it's going to go away and disappear, or it's uncomfortable to have these conversations. But the truth of the matter is we all know, for those of us that's been sailing in relationships for quite a long time, we know that these things don't go away. So deal with it, and I promise you, when you do, you'll be so much happier because you're not carrying anything. When we stop carrying stuff, dragging it around, like dragging office chairs all day, imagine that, what that would feel like, A little difficult, a little cumbersome too, right? Very uncomfortable. So all of a sudden, when we get to a place in our life, the end of the year, like we're cleaning things out. I don't know how many of you start cleaning things out. Some people do it spring cleaning. Some people do it at the end of the year. You start cleaning out your closets and basements and stuff. And we have to do the same exact thing in our relationships. We just do. It's imperative, and it's easier if you don't do it like your house twice a year, once a year, or some of us every 5 years or never. If it's done all the time, it's not work anymore, and all of a sudden it's something that we don't even think about. You're just talking. It's not something you got to plan for, or let me sit down and do this. I got to have a big talk with you. None of that stuff is there anymore. You see, when we get liquid with our words, it just doesn't require as much thought. You see, it just doesn't. And what this also does is something quite beautiful in a relationship, is all of a sudden there's no fear in the relationship. How many of you have fear in your relationships that would never really admit that, to anybody? Some of you do admit it. Oh, if I said that, my wife would kill me. Or, I can't bring those clothes in. They're going to stay in the back of my trunk for the next month, and I'll bring one outfit in at a time. How many women have done that? You bring in one outfit at a time, or the shoes never come in. All of a sudden, he sees you wearing them like 6 months later. You see, when we have an open relationship, and when we're talking, and we can be who we are, there's no fear to be who we are. And guess what? It results in a really fabulous relationship. It really does, because there's no fear. You don't feel like someone's got their thumb on you. You don't feel that pressure. And all of a sudden you feel free, and you start to look at your partner very differently, very loving, the way you used to look at them when you first met them. I know this conversation is not applicable to all relationships, but the divorce rate is up over 50%. It must be applicable to somebody. So for those of you that it is, do these things. And we all know that when we're happy in our relationships, aren't we happier in our work? We really are. We're just happier. There's no way that it can't impact everything that you touch and you do. There was one organization that I worked for, and I've worked for some great bosses in my day. But we used to, make a joke about when the boss came in when he was cranky. We automatically blamed it on his wife. That's just a joke. We automatically blamed it that something must have gone wrong in the relationship over the weekend that he came in so cranky. And you know what? I think 9 times out of 10 we were right. But so keep it humming. Keep it wonderful. Keep it wonderful, and I guarantee you, your life will change, and you will feel absolutely wonderful. I want you to have a wonderful holiday as we start December. I want you to have a great time, and I want to see a lot of people holding hands, and I want to see some real greatness in the new year of what people have to talk about and have to share with me about what's going on in their relationships come the new year. Do not drag in what's going on for 2015 into 2016. I beg you not to do that. Keep it fresh, clear it all out now. And if you have any last-minute little conversations you need to clear up, or little things that like hangnails hanging out there, clear them up fast so that you can enjoy the holidays. And onward and upward, as they say. I'm wishing you all the beauty that you can enjoy and inhale and breathe this December. Have a happy holiday. I love you. Mwah.
They say that falling in love is wonderful, so wonderful. So they say. The thing that's known as romance, wonderful, so wonderful. So they tell me. I can't recall who said it. I know I never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand. And if there's a moon up above, wonderful. Oh,
So they say. I know they are.